Coach Dickert talked yesterday kind of about, maybe the prime example of staying ready and kind of always being ready. And we see that kind of in overtime when you get all those carries, then obviously score the touchdown. For you, what was kind of that moment like when they said, you'd obviously had a few carries, but to go in overtime saying, hey, we're turning to you here. We need to get the ball, into the end zone.
Yeah, I've played in a lot of high-pressure moments throughout my football career, so I was ready for it. I always prepare like I'm going to play on the first snap of the game, so it was no surprise to me. I wasn't nervous, and I was just ready to
go. For you, how much is it kind of, or affirm, the need to stay ready and the need to kind of stay prepared? Maybe you don't get a ton of snaps the first 3 weeks, but then again, in the biggest game or the tightest game of the year, I should say, you're the one that they turn to and kind of trust to take care of the ball and to move the ball kind of along the field.
Yeah, running back's a physical position, so, I knew I was going to get in and have to make plays at some point. I didn't know when it was going to come. I didn't know if it was going to come week 1, week 4, week 8. It didn't matter, so I just stay ready.
For you guys, kind of as a running back unit, we've seen kind of, all four of you get some playing time, get in different roles. How much has that maybe changed from years past where it seems like there's kind of been one guy taking a lot of the carries or taking a lot of the snaps? Now, Wayshawn maybe gets a few more here or there, but you all are kind of playing some kind of role.
Yeah, I think we all have a lot of experience, and now Wayshawn does too. And so we all have a lot of game experience. We all have our different strengths. So I think the coaches are just trying to put us in positions to use those strengths to our advantage.
You guys have lost a few close games like, Fridays last year. I'm curious, what do you think the difference is with this year's team that helped you guys kind of come through in those kinds of spots?
Yeah, throughout the offseason, we wanted to establish some team values, and one of those values was we're going to be a finished team. We weren't happy with the way we finished in the fourth quarter last year, and we emphasized that throughout the entire offseason, and I think we showed that on Friday.
How does that kind of play out on the field, or how does that mentality kind of come out during the games?
I think when we get in those hard situations, when we're down 2 touchdowns, guys start dropping their heads. I saw it a couple times, but the majority of guys picked it up really quick, and we had energy. And I saw a lot of smiles, even though we were down, and we knew that we were going to come back and win that game. There was no disagreement there.
Dylan, I don't know how much you pay attention to, national perception or whatnot, but Boise State, they're ranked. You guys are just outside the top 25 rankings. Do you guys kind of have a chip on your shoulder maybe going into this match?
Yes and no. We don't really, it sounds cliche, but we don't really pay attention to the, all the outside noise. Coach Dickert tells us stay off social media, focus on ourselves, just come to practice, ready to play, and that's really what we've been doing.
You guys have been able to play here in Martin Stadium 3 times, then you kind of had that road atmosphere in Seattle. What's it going to be like? Tell me about playing on a blue turf and in that stadium.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be interesting. I've always wanted to play on Boise's turf. I actually lived in Boise for a little bit, so I know the Broncos very well. I'm excited.
What's it going to take to score more points than the Broncos on Saturday?
It's going to take just us playing more physical than them, and execution.
When you look back on Friday's game, obviously played a huge role in it, but it was just kind of an insane game. What are you going to remember the most? What are you going to tell your kids and grandkids about that game?
Man, just that crowd environment, just watching us come back and seeing the look on the guys' faces, just that look of just relief and happiness, and that's really the biggest thing. It was amazing.
It was family weekend. Did you have any family in the crowd?
Yeah, I had both my parents there. Yep.
What was their reaction after the game?
They were happy for me. They were proud of me. They weren't surprised. My dad always tells me, my dad's my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, and so he's been telling me to stay ready this whole time, and he's seen me do it before, so he wasn't surprised. He was just happy for me.
And then Coach Dickert took responsibility for kind of how Friday went. He said that he told us that he told you guys that you guys picked him up and you guys won that game.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have a coach that takes accountability like that and gives you guys the credit?
That was cool. That was special of him to say that. I think that's our job as players, and they're if one of us feels like we're lacking, then we're supposed to pick the other one up, and so that's just how it goes, and that's what makes a great team.